Ma'ams and sirs, boys and girls, men and women, thank you for tuning in. We're back with a recap of Season 13, Episode 3 of The Bachelorette. You know what? The Bachelorette is alright with me. I'm gonna stop complaining about the show. I had to get to know Rachel a little better. And I'll tell you the moment that I knew that I was going to keep watching the show. The show started at 8. By 8:05, old boy Demario was out of the house. Rachel was like, let's get to this quick and in a hurry, because I'm not going to be the first black girl and y'all make a fool of me on national TV. Sister Rachel, because she family now. Sister Rachel, you all right. You all right. You got everyone quick and together this episode, and I appreciate you. The end of last episode, Rachel found out that a guy that she was really into in the house, he had an old girl, old Becky, back home. He didn't finish up things the right way, and when confronted, he stumbled, he lied. And Rachel was like, I'm not here for your tomfoolery, sir. She kicked him out, and he showed back up, begging for another chance. He was talking about moving forward, being a different person, and Rachel was like, look, bruh, you had an opportunity to show me who you were when I asked you 50 million times, give me the real story, and you didn't give me the real deal. So I kicked you out. Now you're back. You're doing a whole lot of talk. I mean, a whole lot of talk. And the man wouldn't shut up. You just in circles, just in circles. Rachel was like, case dismissed. She was like, sir, you may move forward, but you won't be moving forward in this mansion. I'm glad that you've had pain and joy, and maybe you can find some joy out of this debacle of a situation. But that joy will not be found with me. All right, Sister Rachel. All right. All right. All right. Rachel was like, let me get back to these fine men that are sitting up in this big glorious house who I don't have to rebuild trust with. She was like, I ain't got time today or tomorrow. Deuces to you, sir. It was interesting knowing you. I can't say it was good. You wore a suit well. I'll give you that. But bruh, you ain't do like you was supposed to. I tell you what else was good too. We didn't get a rose ceremony last week because of Demario and his shenanigans. So we got one this week. Rachel, quick and in a hurry, was like, this mess, this nonsense between Blake and Waboom. Blake is a straight up stalker, single white male. He talking about Waboom more than he's talking about Rachel. That's a dry stitch. His whole conversation was about Lucas. Lucas was like, Rachel, I woke up in the middle of the night. He was standing over me eating a banana.
I was confused. I wanted more details. I wanted like, so wait. He was standing over your bed eating a banana and you said you did. What happened next? Those were my questions. But Sister Rachel, she had light jokes. Sister Rachel was like, but did he finish the banana?
Everything about Blake seems like the type of man who would go in somebody's room and stand over them eating a banana in the middle of the night. That wasn't even far-fetched to me because that's how crazy dude was coming across. So these fools get kicked out the house and they stand outside for like a good 5 minutes of TV time going back and forth. These fools were having a lover's quarrel. That's exactly what that was. They were having a full-blown lover's quarrel outside the house. They needed to go so they could be together. Good riddance. The show won't miss you. Ain't nobody buying no Waboom products anyway. What else happened this episode? 2 black folk on horses riding around Beverly Hills.
Look, I have no act right. So let's not pretend that I'm PC or something that I'm not. Let's not pretend I have any sense whatsoever. So I'm watching these 2 folk riding up and down Rodeo on the back of these horses. And my first thought, roll the clip.
Yeah. Hello, my ass. Who this up on that nag? I asked you, who this on that nag?
Anthony was really sweet. Like, he's a big old man. He's just a whole lot of man.
He rode the horse into the store. He looked like he felt like he was foolish. Rachel was like, oh, this is only something you could do in LA. No, that was something you could only do when ABC is putting up money to film shows. Like, that ain't no regular, oh, I'm going to go to Los Angeles and I'm going to ride up and down Rodeo on a horse. No, you're not. No, absolutely not. No, you will not. They took the horses into stores. The second store they went in, the horse crapped on the floor. Who gonna clean that up? Because dude was looking like, oh, this is a mess. I can't believe this happened. It's so embarrassing. Yes, it is. But who is cleaning that up?
They did their ride up and down Rodeo on the horses. And then they went to I want to say like the Hollywood Hills. I know nothing about the landscape of LA. I just know if it's hills, I'm just going to assume it's the Hollywood Hills. But they were in some hills and they were overlooking like the beautiful downtown LA at night. It was all sparkly and pretty. And then afterwards there was like a band and he kissed her and he played in her hair.
The rubbing in your hair, I like that. It was very nice. I enjoyed it.
I love stuff like that. I don't think he's the one, but Rachel had fun and he left a good impression. And sometimes that's all you can ask for with a date. So, fun times.
Rachel had a group date. She took the guys to see Ellen. And Ellen, bless her heart and her shenanigans, Ellen was like, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's see what these men are working with up under these clothes. The men were like, oh, we're going to come and dance. They were prepared to do like a little two-step. Ellen was like, nah, bruh. Y'all going to work for your money today. Y'all going to get half naked and go out into the audience and show us what you're working with. You know what? Bless their brawny hearts. Because those men got out there. They took their shirts off. Everybody looked nice. Everybody was well proportioned, as the old folks would like to say. Dudes, they went in the audience and they shook their ass for cash. And there was a lot of cash. Did they give people like stacks or something? Some of those men had wads of money in their jeans. Okay, ladies, y'all was trying to see some Chippendales. And some of the dudes were really good at it. I was like, oh, okay, y'all done this before. I hope they got to keep the money because they worked hard for that money. They worked hard. And bless Ellen for getting to the bottom of the issues. Because Ellen was like, first, you go take your clothes off and let everybody see what you're working with. And then Ellen was like, let's get to know the boys. So she asked them some questions. Old Russian dude was like, yeah, I peed in the pool. Sir, you're an unsanitary man. Sir. And then Ellen was like, I got more questions. Ellen was like, who in here has sent a picture of their junk? Old boy was like, yeah, I did that too. But then tried to clean it up and was like, oh, it's a classy picture. What does a classy picture of your penis look like? Don't try to act like it was classy, sir. I respected his honesty. And I respect that he was just like, look, this is who I am. I want Rachel to know if she asks me a question, I'm going to give her an honest answer. I'm going to be truthful about who I am and what I do, even if I'm engaged in full-blown shenanigans. And Rachel appreciated it because Rachel was like, you know what? I'm feeling this group date and I'm feeling you, you know? So she gave him the rose. Oh, Fred, bless his heart. He seems like a nice man, but that's all he is nice. He's like, I've had a crush on her for 20 years and he's really just got this fantasy in his head of, you know, trying to make fetch happen. And no, he went to Rachel and was like, you know, can I kiss you? And I respect the consent of it all. You can't just be running around shoving your tongue down somebody's throat without consent. But they do it all the time on this show, and Rachel doesn't seem to mind. But it just ain't go over well.
He didn't have any umph. And Rachel, bless her heart, she knew she wasn't feeling him. So she pulled him aside. She didn't embarrass him in front of the other men. And she just leveled with him. Like, I still see you as back in the day. And I don't feel the chemistry that you feel. And I'm not going to feel it. And I think you should go. And she promptly escorted him downstairs where the car was waiting. It was nice knowing you, Fred. You were great eye candy and you were very nice. Oh, the group date. The second group date, I'm learning, is always going to be a little iffy. Rachel calls up her girls, a collection of women who were on The Bachelor with her for a previous season, none of whom were picked. So these ain't Rachel's homegirls. They're not. Because Rachel is Sister Rachel. These girls ain't the girls that would be in Sister Rachel's crew. But they cute girls and they seem fun. So they were like, we're going to plan the group date this week. Rachel has no idea what's going on. And we're all going to get there in a party bus. They get on the party bus. And they're like, you know what, guys, there's a pole. Let me see what you're working with. Them dudes they was getting it on the pole. None of these men, it was their first time on a pole. Like, they were doing some intermediate move. And Kenny, who's always talking about his daughter, who's like, oh, well, I'm a single father. I'm so into my daughter. Kenny came out later and was like, yeah, I used to dance at Chippendales. Sir, we could tell. He was like, there was no poles involved. Sir, there was a pole involved. You wasn't new to the pole. So the second group date is mud wrestling. And the guys walk into a saloon. They're like, oh, we're going to drink. No, y'all going to mud wrestle in front of a room full of people. So the guys wrestle. Kenny, how are you a professional wrestler, but you lost at an amateur wrestling competition with men who don't wrestle? How'd that happen? Can we talk about old boy? Brandy, Bodie, Bryce, that was his name, not Brian. Brian is the Colombian chiropractor. But Bryce, his ears, did y'all see that? Like, he had like Spock ears. And I was like, is that prosthetic ear? Oh, those are his real ears. Are you of this world, sir? Like, did you hatch? Like, where did those ears come from? They're cute guy, nice guy. I'm not taking anything away from him, but those are interesting ears. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about the ears though. I'm gonna stop talking about his ears though. Ears were weird. So after 2 group dates and 1 private date, it's time for another rose ceremony. Rachel came into the rose ceremony. She had on her full sequins today. very Halle Berry-esque, but not pregnant, or pregnant but not ignite. I don't know what the hell going on with Halle Berry. If you had steak and fries, why would you come out and put your hands up on your belly the way that women do when they're pregnant, when they're acknowledging that they're carrying a child? Nobody does that for steak and fries. You're behaving in a bizarre manner. You are MF Halle Berry. You are a living legend in your time. You ain't got to do all that, Halle Berry. The show usually ends with a rose ceremony. This is the second week in a row we've not had the rose ceremony at the end of the show because folks is acting up in the house. Can we just get back to the proper format of the show? All this to be continued. All this bitch assness in this house. Lee and Iggy hating haters who hate. Rachel had a one-on-one with Eric after the group date, and she was like, I'm feeling you. Like, I'm going to give you the special rose because we had a great conversation. We really connected. Eric told her point blank, like, I'm feeling vulnerable. How do you feel about me? Do I have a chance here before I get invested further? And Rachel hit him with, I'd like to get to know you better. I enjoy your time and your company. And she appreciated his honesty. But then two other dudes in the house, Iggy and Lee, both went to Rachel and said they had some concerns about. Eric did have like a really angry reaction that didn't fit in context. I was like, what issues have you not addressed with your therapist that are causing you to behave this way? This is on top of one of Rachel's friends had asked around to the guys to say, who do you feel is problematic? Who might not be here for Rachel? And they also said Eric. Rachel goes back to Eric and she's like, I'm really unsure of you now because I thought I knew who you were, but the things other people are telling me kind of makes me a little unsure about you. Eric is upset. He goes back in the house. He has a confrontation with the guys. They gaslight him. He blows up all over again. I'm like, you don't see what they're doing to you. And then it's to be continued. We don't know what's going to happen with this rose ceremony. I'd like to see the Nashville guy go and Iggy. Y'all are supposed to be focused on how to woo and win this woman. And y'all are talking about this man and how he's living. You've never been in love before. Why do you care? Send these bofos home. They can go. And real talk, like, I like Eric. I'm not ready to see him go just yet. But he's not in my top 5. He's not going to make it either. Right now, I'm rooting for, obviously, Josiah, who got no screen time this week. I was very upset about that. Josiah. He's so cute. I love him to death. And I like Alex. But that's who I'm paying attention to. There are other guys that are, I guess, in the runnings. But so let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Tell me who your faves are and who you want to see go home next week. And yes, I'll be doing a recap next week. So please tune in. Thank you as always for watching. I really appreciate you. Please subscribe to the page so I can get my numbers up, so I can get in YouTube Studios. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you next week.